Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk about oval chain rings. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the brand absoluteBlack chain rings. Now, really, the discussion is about oval chain rings themselves. absoluteBlack just happens to be the brand that I got. So, like a lot of my reviews, I'm going to tell you about my experiences and my thoughts. I'm not going to get into the scientific details. I think the absoluteBlack website does a great job of talking about it and their studies and their findings. So you can get those details on the site, and I'll put a link below. It's absoluteblack.cc. So what is an oval chain ring? Well, if you came on this, you probably already know that they're chain rings that are oval. They're not round, and so this is a small chain ring. This is the absoluteBlack oval road chain ring. These are their premium oval chain rings. So you can order these directly from absoluteblack.cc, and you can get the larger one for $125 and the small chain ring for $62. I wanted to try these, and I didn't want to fork out the money to go buy the big one if they didn't work, so I just went ahead and bought the small one to try it out. I typically have a smooth pedal stroke. Not necessarily saying that, you know, smooth as opposed to maybe bouncy or punchy is better. It's just like what suits you, and that's the type of rider I am. There's people that have, you know, punchy, bouncy pedal strokes, and they're amazing risers, and that's just the way they ride. What this is supposed to do is it's supposed to contribute to less fatigue in your legs. So let me read you some of the little bit about what this is about. It's supposed to give you a 9% increase of force effectiveness, up to 7% less oxygen consumption, up to 15% less ventilation or breathing, and up to 10% heart rate decrease when using the oval chain rings. Basically, it helps you even out your pedal stroke and make you more efficient. And here's what I found. It doesn't work for all riders, obviously, because not everybody uses them. I mean, they make some pretty lofty claims on their site, and other people with oval chain rings make some lofty claims. And I've talked to other users who've used them and tried out the oval chain rings. I even spoke to my coach, and we talked about it. And really what it comes down to, can you adapt to it? Do you like it? And does it work for you? And it seems that like a person who has maybe a bit stompier or uneven pedal stroke that is not smooth seems to adapt and like them better. So when I started using them, I used it for a couple weeks, and given it was just the small chain ring as opposed to the big one, so it was a little odd going from this circular large chain ring that was smooth and then suddenly going down to this. It almost felt like there was a bounce, and then I would kind of adapt and adjust to it and go into it. For me, with my pedal stroke, I just couldn't adapt to it. Materials on the website says it can take a couple of months to adapt to it. So maybe that's true, and maybe I could have given it more time, but I think you pretty much know when you don't like something or something's not working for you. And when I tried it, I felt like my pedal stroke became bouncier, and so it definitely wasn't smoother. I was struggling to adapt to this kind of the pedal stroke. I felt like I was doing this, and I'm used to this, right? If that makes sense. I lost my climbing legs for a couple of weeks. I wasn't able to climb as well. I felt like I was burning my thighs out. One of the things I did find is that I think there's some truth to what they're saying as far as like your pedal efficiency and some of the torque, and I would love to do some analysis on that if I get a chance, and maybe do something a little bit more technical. The 28 small cassette felt like a 29. The 29 felt like a 30, and the 30 felt like a 31. I was able to have a little bit higher cadence, and it felt like I was producing just a little bit more torque, a little bit more power, and was spinning a little bit easier, but the unevenness, I was feeling it, and I couldn't adapt to it. And when I got out of the saddle, it was awkward for me. So the question is, why did I get the large one if I only bought the small one? So here's the thing. My wife, she has a little bit different pedal stroke. She has a tendency to be a punchy rider, and so her pedal stroke is a little bit more punchy, it's a little bit more stompy. And I said, hey, I think these would probably be really great for you. Why don't you try them out and see if you like them? She was really hesitant. And so we started with a small chain ring. She liked it. She said it was nice. And so after a few weeks of trying it, and I rode with her on a climbing ride, and she was doing really well climbing, better than normal, even some of the punchier climbs. She said it felt like it smoothed out her pedal stroke and made her a little bit stronger. So it seemed to back up what absoluteBlack was saying about their chain rings, which is, you know, from their marketing materials and what other people experience. And talking to other riders who use them, that seems to be the case as well. Like it really depends on your pedal stroke and if you can adapt. And I think you probably would know within a few weeks if it's working for you. I was kind of like on the fence and wasn't sure and wanted to see if I could adapt to it, and I just couldn't. I really struggled. I didn't like the way my pedal stroke felt. It really put a lot of load on my my quads. My thighs felt like they were on fire climbing. And it was when I was doing higher efforts, if that makes sense. So with my wife, she said that it felt like she was more efficient, she was stronger, and it smoothed out her pedal stroke. So it really worked for her. So today's Valentine's Day, so I got her the large one. The things we get for each other, you know, we're cyclists, and you know, instead of like flowers or whatever, well, actually she did get flowers. She got me flowers too. And this weird little stuffed animal, this little porky thing with the horns. I don't know. She got her flowers too and her candies, but I got these and they came for her, and I'm going to put them on later. And so she's super excited. She's super stoked because they really work for her. One of the things that with other chain rings that you get is like bad shifting or drop chains, and Absolute Black says they fix that in the way that they've developed their chain rings. When I use them and my wife used them, so it's been a few months now, neither one of us have dropped a chain or had any skipping or messed up shifting. It was awkward coming from the large chain ring to the small ring. You kind of hear that, like that bounce is kind of heavy. It's just because of the nature of it. But there weren't really any big issues with like dropping chains or missed shifts or whatever using them. That part of the marketing seems to be dead on with what they're saying. So it's one of those things that if you want to spend the money and spend the $60 to get the smaller one and try it out, go for it. You might find that like, hey, that's a game changer for you. So anyways, guys, that's an honest review of like, I hated it, she loved it. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave comments below. Until the next review. Bye, guys.